Hello, 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 hello. Hopefully everybody can hear me. Can you all hear me? If you can hear me, put a one in the chat. Throw a one in the chat as I'm getting things together. Hello, hello. Let's see. How's everybody doing? Throw something in the chat. Throw something in the chat if you can see it. I'm just getting settled, set, and together right now. Let me know if you all can hear me. Yeah, you're doing. I'm at a common area here at the place where I work or the place where I live. So you might see people walking in the background, but it's no problem. Throw a one in the chat if you can see. Let me see. I'm going to go on my phone to see what that looks like. Okay. Blackavelli, you there? Okay. Okay. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, everybody. Tell me what y'all doing. Tell me what you all are up to. What's going on this? What is this? Is this Tuesday? Because I'm losing track of time. I don't know what day it is. Been super duper busy this last couple of weeks. But I'm excited about today's live though, nonetheless. Got a lot of good information to go over today. And what I said the subject was for today. Welcome, welcome. If you're just coming in, throw a one in the chat so you can give me some confirmation that you are here and I am here and that I'm doing what I need to be doing. Let me know. Let me know. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about cybersecurity. Here, let me throw that in the banner. Cybersecurity salaries, cybersecurity and tech salaries. No, not STIGs. Here, let me edit that. If you're just coming in too, where was that? Tell me how you all are doing. Tell me how you all are doing. Let's see. Cyber security and tech salary negotiations. Boom. That's what the subject is for today. Cybersecurity and tech salary negotiations. How are you able to negotiate your salary based upon the skills that you have? Let's see. Oh, I think we're getting some other people here. Okay, Bacavelli, welcome, welcome. No, it's not Wednesday. Is it? Oh, it's Wednesday in Qatar. See, listen, you're trying to mess me up, man. It's Wednesday in Qatar. I'm up here. All confused. I'm thinking that it's Wednesday already. JM, welcome, welcome. Can you negotiate salty? Oh, salary for an entry level help desk job. Yes, you actually can. Because I think in that situation, and let's start off with that one here. I'm just going to take your comment, throw that up there. And I think that's a great question. And we can start it off since you're here, man. We can just jump right into the subject. When you talk about something with no or somebody with no experience, yes, you can negotiate, right? Because I think that one thing that you're trying to sell is potential, right? You're selling potential and your ability to be able to deliver for that organization. So you can think of it like think about it like in the NBA, right? These rookie contracts, people are coming in with potential. They don't have any real experience, right? They don't have a lot of real experience other than maybe a year or so in college, a little bit of high school playing basketball, but really they are coming in negotiating their potential to be better or their potential to contribute to that organization. So you take that same idea and look at it from an entry level job, entry level help desk job. You can make that situation better for yourself also if you can make that situation better for yourself also if you are coming in a situation where you have some of those background skills, right? So say for instance that you are coming in with a lot of labs, that you have worked with a lot of different operating systems, that you have worked with, say for instance, a lot of different software. Even though you're coming in entry level, you have some hands on the keyboard skills to help you to propel yourself in that negotiation process within that help desk job. So I do think that you can negotiate. One, sell yourself on potential and sell yourself on the skills that you gained outside of your job. And also a number three, willingness. Have you ever been around a kid that has asked all types of questions? They ask you all type of questions, not really to be annoying or anything, but because they're really trying to understand different concepts. I think that is something that heavily motivates people to answer their questions, right? A very anxious, not anxious, but more excited about learning and knowing type of child. That child can be seen as someone who is very interesting or who is very interested in the subject. So while you're in the interview, one thing that's important is to ask a lot of questions. Ask a lot of questions for the employer to try to really give them an understanding that you desire to learn more. So one, potential; two, those skills that you develop outside of work; and three, your interest in the subject matter. When I'm doing interviews and people ask me, hey, what do you do? Or what are you excited about when you wake up every day to do your job? That kind of gives me more interest in that individual because they're really looking at themselves and trying to place themselves within that job role. So ask a lot of questions is the third one. And I think that with that kind of triad of ideas, I think you can come in negotiating salaries for entry level type of roles within help desk. So yes, hopefully that helped. Did that make sense to you, JM? How did that sound? That makes sense to you? Okay, you got a follow up question. Okay, before we get to your follow up question, I want to say hey to a couple of people. What's good, Ciova? Welcome. Thank you for coming through. We all always know that you are the tech guy, the streaming guy. You are very helpful. You've been helpful to me, even in my early streaming career. Thank you, and welcome. Like you said, like, yeah, with no experience, computer geek, welcome. I don't think I've seen you here before, but welcome, and come through. Ask questions in the chat, and JM is getting some individualized conversation here. So listen, if you want some of those questions answered, feel free to throw them in the chat. Okay, JM follows it up with said, can you also trade years of non-tech military experience for jobs that require experience in tech? Absolutely. I mean, there's plenty of individuals on here, people like Keep It Techie, Dewan Lightfoot. I believe he's also a veteran. These individuals have utilized some of their military background in order to account for different experience within the field. So I do think that a lot of that is translatable. Absolutely. How's it going, John? Hey, welcome. He said, don't mind me. I'm just in the back. Listen, welcome. Everybody is welcome, right? Everybody is welcome. Whether you're an experienced professional like my friend John here, or whether you're brand new in the field, you are more than welcome to ask questions, or even, I don't know, John, if you want to tease out some information about salary negotiations, feel free to do that if you want. Nothing to stump me. Don't try to stump me. But if you have anything to contribute, John has a great channel. He also covers cybersecurity, has been in the game way longer than me, an OG in the cybersecurity YouTube space. So feel free to go over to his channel and check out some of his materials also. But yeah, John, thanks for coming through. I definitely appreciate it. What's good, Computer Geek again? He said, I'm a new sub, came across your channel too. Oh, awesome, man. Well, very happy that you have been able to subscribe. Hopefully you have been finding value in the material that I provide on my channel. And again, if you have any questions, throw them in the comment section. I'm going to try to do these a lot more often. I think it kind of gets me closer to the people who are my subscribers and kind of get some individualized questions and conversation going. Okay, D-Win. I see we got another one coming in here. D-Win, welcome. It says, how can you go about getting references if you come from a non-technical profession? I think that all comes down to networking, right? Networking with individuals that you know are in the field, maybe family friends or friends of friends. But I think a very good networking resource is that of LinkedIn, right? Utilizing LinkedIn and even YouTube, right? Utilizing these things, these different platforms, and pretty much, right, sliding in people's DMs, man. like connecting with individuals, but sliding in DMs with professional purpose, right? You know, a lot of times people slide in DMs to try to get at different things from people, but I think you can slide in DMs to make a professional connection. And then I think that after you've kind of more established some of that, like you kind of giving people your background, tell them about yourself. And I've done this before. People have slid in my DMs on LinkedIn and say, hey, how's it going? I'm this is my aspiration. This is my goal. and then they've asked me for a reference. I think that that's completely okay. Of course, it's dependent upon that individual. I'm way lighthearted, and I am always looking at helping people out in any way I can. So, man, even me, hey, slide in my DMs, man, slide in my LinkedIn DMs, and we can have a conversation. And so that is one way that I've seen people network in the field, even when you're coming from a completely different industry, learning and growing, or even joining professional organizations. So there are several of them. I know that which ones I know that. So it's a conference called B-Sides. They have different meetups all around the United States, all around the world, really. They have different meetups where you can get introduced to professionals, whether you can be in person there or you can even be virtual. So you can do some networking there to start to understand who people are and really network. Or you can even join, I think, ISC Squared. That's another professional organization that you can join. There's so many. I think I might even have to do a video on that, of different cybersecurity professional organizations that people can join in order to network with cybersecurity professionals. So one, sliding people's LinkedIn DMs, that's something that you can do anytime. Or another one is joining cybersecurity professional organizations where you can network with those professionals before you go ahead and ask for that reference. So those are a couple of different ways for sure. So we're not even talking about negotiations here. We're not even talking about that. We're talking about everything. That's cool. Listen, that is so cool. We can talk about anything you guys want to talk about. This is for the subs. This is for you guys. Okay. We jump into another question. Listen, JM coming. Listen, he's coming with the questions and he's bringing us back home, right? He says, but how do you negotiate though? Okay. He says, how do you negotiate? He said, yeah, you give me the high level stuff, but how do you negotiate? He says, do they have a set hourly, I think you're saying set hourly rates for help desk jobs. And that's something that's important, right? So sometimes kind of towards that networking piece, one thing that you can do is that you can form a network of other tech professionals, and those people will be able to, and it's almost a taboo conversation at times for people to share their salaries. But a lot of times I've seen it done when you're more in an intimate type of setting, when it's like you and some friends, you guys are typically open to sharing salaries. But a lot of times you use other people as baselines to what type of salaries that you negotiate for. And there's other websites out there that give you kind of information about what those rates and salary rates are. So typically what you would do is that you will find a rate, you will find what's the going rate, and then you negotiate by setting that rate, right? You don't always necessarily tell the recruiter or the hiring manager exactly what that rate is, but you have that in mind, right? Typically that organization will offer you something initially. Many times if you pass the interview, they see that you're a good fit for the organization, they will give you an offer letter. And that offer letter will have that number or that rate, that annual rate in there. And then if that rate is what you want, actually, you never go for the first offer. All right. I'll start off by saying that you never go for the first offer. You always look at getting something additional or negotiating more within that base salary or that offer letter. You always try to get more. So typically when you talk about how do you negotiate, it's many times a back and forth thing where you're coming to the table with something already in mind because that company already has something in mind on what they want to offer you. And that typically happens after the interview process, after they found that you are a good fit for the organization. Hopefully that helps a little bit more, but we'll get a little bit more into it. Aiken or Akin, welcome. Greetings, welcome. John is coming in with the questions. Listen, he's trying to stump me. Let's see. What's your preference on when you bring up salary negotiations? How do you handle it if they tell you a lower number than expected or if they won't tell you the range? Okay. That's very, actually, I'm going to hold your, listen, okay, I put a star there. Okay, perfect. I starred your question because I think that'll come into play later in the conversation. But listen, we're going to talk about that. Okay. What's good, Keep It Techie? Welcome. My brother, my friend, welcome. You're always welcome here. Thank you for coming through. Yeah, as he said, hit the like button. Come on now, hit the like button. Likes are free. I think that's what they say. All the big YouTubers say likes are free. So hit the like button. Likes are free, and it helps to promote the channel and to be able to spread the information I'm providing to you all for free. But likes are free, so please hit the like button as you all are here. Another thing, Keep It Techie says Glassdoor. Glassdoor also has a lot of open. People can report their current salaries anonymously on Glassdoor and other forums, right? To say, hey, this is what I am making. This is what I am making. And you can use that also as a baseline to negotiate. Welcome, Paul Praise. Paul Praise, welcome, man. He says, hey, man, kind of off topic. What's your take on GRC? What's your ideal path to transition to GRC as a newbie? I am not a GRC guy, right? So GRC, so I even figured what the acronym stands for. It stands, risk and compliance are the last two pieces. If you all know what the G stands for, throw that in the chat. But I am not a GRC person, and I am more than willing to say that I don't know something when I don't know something. So GRC is cool, I think, right? So I'll tell you what I do know. I do know that it is something that's very good for individuals who are very much so military, have a military background, and that also aren't very technical in their cybersecurity or tech experience, but they're very good with that of program and project management, documentation, maybe even auditing, right? So governance, risk, and compliance. Thanks, John. I very much so appreciate that. Governance, risk, and compliance. So I think that's a good amount of information that I know about it, but I do not know more about that topic on like career progressions or transitioning into GRC. I know there are a lot of military roles that have a lot of GRC roles for the military type of tech roles. So that's going to be the most that I tell you about it, because I don't know. That's not the area that I'm in. But thank you for the question. I really appreciate it. And thanks for coming to the chat also. I very much so appreciate it. John, Computer Geek says recruiters will tell you a pay range. Yeah, so we're gonna get into it. All right, we're gonna get. Okay, I'm gonna start yours too. We're gonna get into it. We'll definitely talk. Okay, JM says, can you negotiate during the interview, or is it best to do it after the interview? And if they offer you a hire, if they offer you to hire you during the first, that's some Spanish, I don't know. Do you accept then, or can you tell? JM, you might have to come up on the panel because you got a lot of depth of questions. So if you're dealing with a recruiter, many times you can ask them for the salary range, right? That salary range doesn't always align with what you'll be offered. They might give you a range. So after you interview, they might offer you something more than what that actual range is, or they might offer you something lower. I know for many of the FANG, like the Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Netflix, and Google organizations, they don't offer you anything until after the interview, because they want to understand how you interview and what your fit is for that particular position. So when you say before or after, I think it all depends on the organization and the structure. If you're working with recruiters, many times you can ask them exactly what that pay range is, just as Computer Geek has said. He said that recruiters can tell you a pay range. They can, but sometimes they want to be tricky about it from time to time. What's good, Def Racer, my YouTube everywhere friend? Welcome through. And John also brought up another great resource, levels.fyi. They're really good for software engineering type of roles, even some cybersecurity roles within organizations. Definitely for consulting, definitely for some of the big tech companies. Even those of like IBM or like Palo Alto, they have a lot of good salary ranges on there. Oh, just like you said, right? It's more software, right? Software engineering focused, but you can find some good stuff on there for salaries that are open, right? Salaries that people have reported. I actually have reported, I don't know, I'm not going to tell you everything, but I have reported multiple salaries on levels.fyi for different cybersecurity roles that I've had. So, yep. Oh, man. The chat is filling up. He says, Calisthenic Arts, welcome. He says, hello, first time here. Welcome. I'm happy that this is your first time here, and welcome to the chat. Professor Black Ops, Cybersecurity for the People, welcome. I salute you. Salute also to you. Always here, always great. Always has great information to provide and offer. Actually, hey, Professor Black Ops, this might be a question for you. There was a gentleman, Paul Praise, asked this question. He asked about, yes, Paul is a guy, I would think, right? They asked, got to use pronouns these days. They asked, what is your take on GRC and what's your ideal transition to GRC? I told him I don't know too much about it, but I know that you have done several GRC roles over your career and in your tenure. So if you want to, you can answer on the panel or maybe in the chat for Paul Praise, because they have some questions about that. And I don't know because I haven't done it before. JM comes back with another one. Also off topic, is Salesforce considered IT? I think it is. Or is it more like business management? I think it's a combination of the two, right? So Salesforce, it's like a suite of tools that's used for business purposes within organizations. But it is a piece of software. There are software packages that comes a part of that suite of tools. So I think it's a little bit of both, because people who get into it are typically tech type of people. I don't know a whole bunch about Salesforce, but I've been hearing a lot about it lately. A lot of people have been talking about it. Also, actually, Keep It Techie. Keep It Techie, this gentleman here, I would like you to go to his channel. Keep It Techie did a video on Salesforce, and he has a great video on that. So if you want to know more about Salesforce, go to one of Keep It Techie's most recent videos. He's done a good one on that one. Listen, top skills to have a listen. Y'all just hit me with all types of questions. Let me see where we at on the because we got stuff to get to. Listen, okay, I'm looking. Okay, I'll answer some of these. All right, but on top skills that I have as a cybersecurity analyst. I just feel like I'm gonna jump down a rabbit hole, man. I just feel like I'm gonna jump down. Welcome again, Jeffrey Wayne. Welcome to the chat. I feel like I'm gonna jump down a rabbit hole, and we're gonna end up talking about cybersecurity analyst roles the whole time. So we're gonna table that. So I'm gonna star yours. I'm gonna put that to the side, and that if we have time towards the end, I'll make sure to answer it. So that means you got to stay to the end. Okay, that's a little carrot at the end. Okay, boom, right? So GRC. John provided some good stuff for you, Paul. So take a look at that. Take a look at some of Professor Blackoff's questions or answers if he's answered it in the chat. But this is some good information about GRC. And I don't know, John, did you do a video on that? Anything that we can reference? You might have a video on that. So go to John's channel and look for GRC roles also. Okay. Calisthenic Art says they are currently in cyber boot camp. New to IT, like to get into cybersecurity or a security analyst role. How can I accelerate my time and get in that role? Oh man, you all want me to talk about cyber. Okay, listen, I'm gonna do another stream. I'm gonna do another live stream about cybersecurity analysts. I'm gonna do a cybersecurity analyst specific live stream. I cannot answer all this right now. Actually, hold up one second. I'll be right back. Okay. Did you all like that? Guess who that is? I'm sure you all know. That's Drake. That's Drake in a data center. Drake was doing some troubleshooting on a data center. Him and Future, these are rappers. And they were having some issues, and they actually had an outage based upon something that they did. But yeah, that's my new favorite little picture. That's my new favorite picture. But anyway, back to the subject. I think that we're gonna do a stream. I'm gonna do a stream soon about the cybersecurity analyst role and answer some of these questions. So I'm gonna star all of these, and I'm gonna have to hold those for another stream or at the end of this stream if we have some time. What prerequisites? Listen, oh man, okay. I am going to wait until more of the end of the chat. I'm going to say hey to everybody. I can't answer so many of these questions. This is a very good question about prerequisites and recommendations for people who are newer in IT. That's a great question. It's just that I know me. I think one of the biggest strengths that people need to have is that they need to know themselves. If you get me starting to talk about something, I'm going to talk about it during the whole stream. All right. I know that we have a subject. I know that you all have come here for that subject. So I do want to offer you that conversation about what that subject is. Okay. So I'm not ignoring the question. I'm not saying it's a bad question, but I am saying that I know myself enough to know that I don't want to dig. I don't want to jump down into that rabbit hole, especially since we already got a topic on the table. So very good question, but it might have to be answered at a later time. Actually, I might have a segment at the end where I'm like, let me answer the questions that I have that are not a part of the subject matter. That might be something that I do, right? I'm still getting new to this live streaming thing, so I do want to consider all of you guys as consider or ideas. Low Cast, what's good? Low Cast, welcome, welcome, welcome to the chat. Welcome, you're always welcome here. Let's see what else. Professor Black Ops said that he'll answer on the panel. Okay. I'm also gonna do that. Okay, good. Paul, I'm happy that you were able to see some resources, and we have more on that too. Let's see. And you got another one, JM. JM coming hot and heavy with the question. He says, also, can you decrease your chances of getting a job if you negotiate? Short answer, no. Negotiations are expected. You're expected to negotiate your salary. So if you start to negotiate, you come back with a number, they come back with a number, you come back with another number. Of course, it might come a time in which you're like, yeah, I can't accept that. But overall, negotiating is not something that would lower your chances. And that was something that I thought that I shouldn't do. I would think that, I used to think that I am privileged enough for them to offer me a job. And I used to think that the first offer I need to take because that offer might not be here later. And that's a bad mentality to have when you're negotiating or when you're in this field. It's because I think that you need to think of yourself as a very high skilled and a very good resource that you need to get just as much from that role as the company is getting from that role. So you all need to be able, so think about, and I think I've used this similar analogy in another show, but you are a business within yourself. And the organization that you're trying to work for is also a business. You all need to meet in the middle where you all have invested interest in one another. You are there to deliver a particular output of work, and they're there to compensate you for that output of work. So you negotiating is not in any way offensive, right, to your ability to get a role. Now, if an organization thinks that it's offensive, that's not an organization where you want to be. That's not an organization that you want to be with at all, because you are a valued resource and you should come to the table with your request in mind. And you and that organization need to meet somewhere in the middle where you all have business interest. And if you can get more than what you think, more than what that organization is willing to offer, you're coming out winning. So this is definitely a worker's market. It says, what if there is another candidate that is okay with it? If that other candidate is okay with that salary, you need to decide what that salary is, the salary that you're okay with first, right? You need to define what that number is for you. And it's important for you not to waver based upon somebody else, right? Because there is such a high demand for cybersecurity and tech talent in the field today that if this organization isn't going to offer you what you think you're worth, another will. So those are just a couple of ideas there. Kyle said, yeah, do a whole video on how to. Yeah, I could do that. Listen, I'm going to record all of this. I'm going to go back through here and make sure I'm capturing everything that you all are saying. I start that. Welcome, AA Witherspoon. You have to sell yourself to that. Listen, this is good advice. You have to sell yourself to the potential employer. You should negotiate, right? Bottom line, like base level, you need to negotiate to what you can provide to that said company, Absolutely. Aiken, thanks. I'm happy. I'm sorry I can't get to your exact question right now, but thank you. I'm happy that you're enjoying the live stream. Hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button, please. JM, should you ask during the interview if the salary is negotiable? No. The interview is not a place. I feel like I'm just answering all of JM's questions because JM is asking questions that are on the subject. So I'm not saying that you all are asking bad questions, but JM is asking questions that are on the subject matter. So JM says, could you ask during the interview if the salary is negotiable? No, because the interview is really an introduction to yourself to that potential employer, and you need to the interview is a showcase. It's not a negotiation table. The interview is a showcase of your skills, ability, your personality, and your fit. And also during that interview, they're not only interviewing you, but you're interviewing them. So negotiations about salary is not something that typically occurs during a interview, unless at the end of the interview, if the employer is like, oh, this is just a great candidate, this is a great person, they might want to make you an offer right there on the spot. I have been in some of those situations where they literally was like, okay, I've heard enough. What do you want? What do you want? So you do want to come to the table, right? You do want to, before the interview or even before you start to have conversations with that organization, you need to have an understanding of what that number is or what compensation you're looking at to get from that organization. So you should know before then, because it could be a situation like that where they're like, okay, I've heard enough. I know who you are. I want you to work for us. So it is important to have that. But typically during the interview, you're showcasing your talent, your skills, and your personality and looking for a fit. So that's typically what you're doing during the interview. Calisthenic Arts says, I heard that companies right now are not able to provide the high salary like they used to. As someone employing, a company might now offer what been asked. I think I know what you're talking about, and I've been hearing some of those reports. I think one thing that's really important for us as potential or people who are looking for work or looking for jobs to do is to check for a couple of things about organizations. Look online to understand, or look at some of those open forums to kind of understand what employer or employees are saying about the companies that they work for. You can look on different forums like Fishbowl. Fishbowl is a really good forum where people anonymously talk about the organizations that they work for. Or Blind is another one. People anonymously talk about the organizations they work for. Look at some of those forums and see what people who work there are actually saying about that company. Are they noticing that the company is doing mass layoffs? That might imply that they're not able to offer the money that they previously were able to offer. So that's one thing that you can do is look for open forums where people are talking about those companies. Another one is look at the stock prices of those companies. Many times, an implication of a company not being able to compensate people that's working for them or be able to hire is if their stock numbers are plummeting or if their numbers are going down. So that means that that is their revenue or how they are doing on the stock market. If they are a public company, looking at that really gives you a very good understanding of if that company is going to be firing or not even offering jobs at all, because it's something that happens, right? I think that kind of what you're talking about is like hiring freezes, right? Hiring freezes also happen. So boom, right? Hopefully that helps. That helps right there. What was your most least successful interview so far? Oh man, that's a good question. I need to answer that one. I had an interview with I had an interview for a application security role for a large automotive manufacturer. This was years ago, and of course, application security. I was thinking that this was going to be a role where I'll be working with like infotainment systems. I'll be working with different vehicle coding type of systems, implementing cybersecurity for those environments, right? But actually, the recruiter did not explain the role correctly to me. This I was thinking I'm doing more like like analyst or analysis type of roles, like definitely technical, but not programming because I'm not a programmer, right? As at my basis, I don't not a big programmer. So I came into that interview blind, and let me tell you, I stepped into that interview to a blank terminal where the interviewers were asking me, "Hey, pick your coding language, and you're going to go through this coding interview with me." And I'm like, "Coding interview? I told you that I don't know how to code." Like, there is nowhere on my resume that says that I am proficient in any coding languages. But for some reason, they thought that I was going for a coding role. So that was kind of bad because I'm like it was probably less than five minutes. It was a hello code. I'm like, hello, my name is Gabe. I don't code. And they were pretty much like, okay, bye. So that was not a good experience because I was excited to work for that organization, but that was my worst type of experience. And that really was where the recruiter, I don't think the recruiter really explained to the hiring manager or the interviewers that I was not a coder. So that was probably my worst experience. Yes. John, there you go. If jobs have Colorado as a hiring location, they would have to list salaries per the law there. Absolutely. Actually, let me go through that with you very quickly because that's a little cheat that I put on my last video. The cyber what is a cybersecurity engineer, and that's very interesting when you're looking at salaries. I am going to, let's see how I can do this. I'm going to share my screen. Actually, let me go and make sure nothing's, I'm going to show you that really, really quickly as like a little value added here. I'm going to share my screen quickly to that point about Colorado and what that looks like. I'm going to share my screen, share screen. Yes. I'll share my tab on LinkedIn. Oh, and this is another good guy. Hopefully you guys are seeing this. Let me see. Is that popping up? I think it is popping up. Okay, boom. It is popping up. And let me know. Okay, this is my but oh, both of them here, right? So so this is Kev Tech and Josh. Go to their channels, Keep It Techie and Kev Tech. They have very good YouTube channels also. But we're gonna do something where we're talking about this Colorado job postings here. So let's say you are. It seems like in the chat we're talking a lot about cybersecurity analyst role. So let's put cybersecurity. Oops, I am not typing. Cybersecurity analyst, right? Oops. So cybersecurity analyst. I don't put here in the United States area what the area I'm looking for, but I actually put it here, right here in the search section, because I think it looks for strings or different text within the actual job posting if you put it there. So if you look at Colorado, I'm going to search here. Okay. So we're looking here at some roles, and sometimes it can be remote roles also. But if you're looking at, say, for instance, you're looking to be a cybersecurity analyst at this organization, ECS. Right, so we're going to go to this job posting. I'm going to scroll down here. Let me zoom in a little bit. Uh-oh, this looks like it's like a government role. No. Anyway, government roles are cool. I just saw Stigs, and Professor Blackops knows how I feel about Stigs. I hate Stigs. But just like John was saying, right? Look at this. If a job posting has Colorado, anywhere within the area of hiring as a location, they have those salaries right there, the salary expectations right there within the job posting. Let me show you another one just in case you thought it's not real. Okay. A senior risk management frameworks. Dang it, these are all government roles. Okay, anyway. Oh yeah, because Colorado Springs, I think it's a base up there or something. So senior RMF cyber risk analyst. That's a cybersecurity role also. Let's scroll down here. Let's look. And boom, right? You see that there are different ranges for this, right? So the pay range is from 74, 750 to 115 to 155, 250, right? Let's look at another one that's not a government role, because these all seem to be government. This is another, okay, Garment. Okay, cybersecurity compliance analyst. Let's look at this one. Let's scroll down a little bit. Is this another government role? It probably is. It looks like it, but it's cool. I like government roles. But look, the salary is right in there. Now this is a wide range. You know, companies can get a little funny when they put such a wide range, but this is a very good salary, right? 65,000 to 120K. Let me look at another one. Okay, Visa. Okay, we know this is not a government role. Okay, Visa. This is a credit card or financial institution. Scroll down here, and again, cybersecurity. This is for a cybersecurity engineer role. The salary and even more context, right, for Colorado applicants, 117 to 153K, right? So that's something that's very important and that can be very good for you to do in your job searching, is that you actually will throw Colorado right there into the description of the job posting, and you can use LinkedIn or Indeed or any of these other job platforms in order to find out what those salaries are for those organizations. So thank you, John, for providing that, and hopefully that's invaluable to you guys. I'm seeing other people jumping in here. Welcome. I still haven't said all my hellos, man. You guys are, that's it. Okay, D. Charles, welcome, man. D. Charles says, I've seen Splunk boot camps. Do you believe someone new to cybersecurity could start off with that to land a job? I think so, right? So Splunk is a software package that's typically used for intrusion detection systems, or a SIEM, a security incident and event management system. It's many times thought of as being like the SOC kind of god, SOC guide tool for many organizations. It can ingest all types of logs coming from different computers and pretty much make sense of it from a security perspective. So Splunk is a very good tool. You might be able to do some identity and access management, or you can come right out of that boot camp, possibly working as a Splunk analyst or a security operations center analyst. So I do think that being proficient in that particular tool in Splunk can give you those skills that can definitely launch you into cybersecurity for sure. And they have certifications associated with that tool too. So getting some of those certifications, I bet that would even increase your chances at getting some of those roles. But I do also think that networking, right, having some type of networking background, having some network background will also help to increase your chances, because even though you might understand that tool a lot of times is speaking to different assets on the network. So having some networking understanding is very important. So maybe a Splunk certification, that boot camp combined with a Network Plus type of certification, that can definitely increase your chances for sure. Federal versus public. Department of Homeland Security is offering $61K to $72 for entry-level roles with 0 to 2 years. Thank you, Brandon Ross. Welcome, Brandon, and thank you for that. I didn't know that. I'm not very much so in tune with a lot of the government roles, but I do think that would be great, right? That's something great that you all can look at for the Department of Homeland Security. I know that you can go on USA Jobs, and many times those roles come with something called clearances or security clearances. So many times you will have to be a U.S. citizen and also have to have some type of government clearance, whether like a secret clearance or a top secret clearance or top secret clearance with Poly. Many times those type of roles come with those requirements, some type of clearance requirement. So yeah, that's what's up. Professor Blackouts mentions that. He said Fed salaries are low compared to consultants. Absolutely. Cash Baller. Welcome, Cash Baller. Savage Scientist Programming. He also has a channel. Check him out. Check out Savage Scientist. Check him out. He covers a lot of type of tech type of content. So check him out. I think I'm about to drop the link so we can go through some of this other stuff too. I think I'm about to drop the link. Let's see. JM says, what about learning Snort? Snort is good too. Is that a good entry-level tool to learn to land a cybersecurity job? So many times, if you like a network forensic analyst, or if you are doing some type of intrusion detection system type of setting up, yeah, Snort is a very good tool. I think Snort has integrations with Splunk also. So you can many of these tools talk to each other. So like Snort, like Zeek, these type of tools are able to help you do analysis on different logs and network traffic to be able to understand where the bad guys are moving and what the bad guys are doing within environments, or what looks good or what looks bad. So yes, Snort is a very good tool for sure. Let's see. Did I say all my hellos? Andre Hatchet, what's good? SB stand up. SB stand up. We're not SBN over here. I don't know what you mean. Andre Hatchet, welcome. Andre Hatchet is a very good brother. We've been on panels. We've been doing content for some years now. We used to be on another channel where we were doing a lot of content on just like Black men in professional settings, and we talked a lot about what those experiences were. Very good friend of mine. Welcome at Andre. I follow you on all different types of platforms. So welcome. Those are all my hellos. Listen, I'm gonna drop the link right now, and we're gonna be probably joined by some great people. Here, let me put that, and then we can go over some more content. I have several other things that I would like to talk about, and we're gonna go over some videos too. Let's see, how do I just throw these in the chat? I could just post in the chat right here. Okay, I'm about to spam the chat with the link. Spam. Feel free to jump on, and we're going to kind of transition into kind of. I'm going to be asking whoever comes on the panel about what some of the questions that we've already asked, like what has been their best and their worst type of experiences. Oh, we already got my brother Professor Blackout. I'm going to ask a couple of questions, and we're going to go over a couple of videos and get some reaction too. Professor Black Ops, welcome, man.
What's going on, man? I said I was gonna come up and let me know when you want me to answer that GRC question.
Oh, feel free. Feel free. Let me see if I need to. I can go back to it for your reference.
Yeah, I think John Good, I think answered it pretty well, but I can definitely add on to actually a young lady actually reached out to me. She was coming from PM and BA, so I told her I thought that would be a good pivot for her to get into cybersecurity.
What is PM and BA? I don't know.
Project management and business analysts before you get to PM. So they come and take requirements, run the meetings, set up schedules. And so that, since you're right, well, that falls over to policy analysts, risk and analysis, because John named all the compliances, right?
Yeah.
He named HIPAA, risk, CMC, which is SOX. So all of those are compliance when you're at a federal site or somebody trying to do federal work.
Okay.
Like HIPAA, you got to be able to meet those compliances. We talked about your favorite one is STIGs, hardening, and doing all those up, right? So I just did work for a little Indian firm on Upworks, made $50 an hour, you know, and it's just all paperwork. That's the cool thing. You know, I shot you something too. You know, when I see stuff, I try to spread it around. So, but I think GRC is definitely a nice entry point into cybersecurity. Switching over. My only issue with Splunk is it's pricey and only big companies run it. We run it at a large state agency. We went, that's too expensive. We're not going to run it. But if you got those certs and you're good at it, you can definitely get a job. But you're kind of narrowing yourself to Fortune 500 companies and above, because that ingestion price for Splunk, be big money.
What's it called? The master ingester or super?
I thought it was master ingester. So you get charged for each gigabyte of stuff you ingest. You know, so we can easily, we got a couple platforms, got 100 servers. And you start ingesting from all of those, and you add in the F5 and all those other appliances you need to be able to trace it through your whole organization. You can spend a lot of money on log files. So that's my only issue with Splunk.
Okay, JM asked this question about GRC really quick. Is GRC like GDPR in Europe? Is that the same?
A little bit. It touches on it. That's more privacy, right? So you got compliance. Then you come privacy. Privacy really is the next bag, because in the United States, every state general attorney is coming up with their own privacy. Cali's got Cali and GDPR. And I know I was working with this guy, I probably had him on my channel. He has an international company. So Brazil got their own privacy. Europe got a privacy. We got a privacy, each state. Yeah. So you got to harmonize that across your agency. So big Fortune 500, once again, they got to do privacy because they worldwide on, and so you got to harmonize it across your whole organization. That gets tough.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. But while I have you here, I do want to ask you a question.
STIGs. No, I'm just playing.
No, we ain't talking about that. Let's see, your words. Okay. Okay, 1 second.
You're good.
It's coming through. Boom. Oh, let's see. That one. So this is the question on the docket, right? So what was your worst job interviewing experience? What was that? Tell us about it. And why?
It probably was a couple years ago. I was actually interviewing with AWS, so it was pluses and minuses. So I was just really getting going. So I didn't really have the services. So somebody put me in for a senior. So I was stumbling on some of the answers.
Okay.
But the cool thing though is you a veteran too. Is I always tell them I don't know the answer, but then I will explain to them this is what I know and this is kind of how I would handle it. So I think that kind of got me over the hump. So kind of like you, I was like, I didn't really sign up quite for that, but this is what I do know about that, right? I do more compliance. It was more for engineering jobs. So they were asking me about how would you do a VPC on an international? I'm like, well, from compliance, I would do that, but so
So that was your worst one, and it was probably your worst experience because you didn't think that you aligned with that role.
I didn't align with it. I wasn't ready because, like you said, I wasn't going for an engineering role. I was going for a compliance role, right? So those are two different skill sets. Now I know a lot about engineering, but when you talk about the individual services, now that I'm certified, of course, I would do a lot better. But then I was going for more of a compliance mode.
Yeah, what's up with AWS? Savage Scientist said he interviewed with them lately. He said he ain't like it.
I did the second one. Did he make it to the second one? It's gonna be 5-hour interview. It's
He
4
said he did
1-hour
not
individual.
like
It was 4 1-hour interviews and a panel of all of them at the end. So it came out
Yeah.
to be like 5 hours. But
Yikes.
you know, when they talking about stock restrictions and all that and signing
Right.
bonuses, they gonna take you through the code. So
True. And welcome. I do want to say another hello and welcome to Person Center Cyber. She also has a YouTube channel where she
Fine.
talks about cybersecurity and many other type of topics
fine.
and content. I think she hits on a lot of GRC type of content.
She does. She does.
Also. And I think she recently got certified. I forget what you got certified in. I think CISM or something along those lines.
Yeah.
She recently got some certification. So that's another channel that I do think that you all should go over to and check out her material. Really good stuff over there.
So the lady I was talking about switched from HR. I actually hooked those two up because she does a lot of policy writing. So I hooked those two up to get comfortable too. Let the women, get con 5. So I hooked up because I definitely take her experience serious and I trust her. And I know she's gonna give good advice. So I hooked her up with a couple people, to talk to her.
Nice. Well, welcome, Person Center Cyber, and thank you for coming through. Absolutely. She said it was in machine learning, so awesome. We just got a certain machine learning. Dope.
Yeah, I'm thinking about taking AWS. Got a machine learning. I know engineering cannabis keep piquing my interest, so I was thinking about taking AWS's machine learning.
This is a good question. Okay, thanks. It says, would I be expected to display a task using my skill set or acumen in a tech interview? What do you think? What do you think?
I do informational interview. Yeah. So, like you said, in AWS, a lot of times they give you a scenario, you have to walk through it. So it's usually 2 because I'm a senior guy. So they want to know my technical acumen, then they want to know my business acumen. And big companies, one thing I do is I've talked to CISOs and CIOs. So when those guys push back, how do you handle it? Right? A lot of people fold, so you got to be able to explain that. So those are the 3 things. Once you get to a senior level, I think they usually hit because I'm asking for big money. Go ahead.
Yeah. So you need to prove you, right? So So I've seen it displayed in a couple of different ways. So one has been like a whiteboarding type of exercise. So I interviewed for a senior consultant role, senior consultant cybersecurity role. And part of that interview, they wanted me. I told them I had a particular experience with a certain environment, like an industrial environment. So they literally had me, they gave me a marker, they gave me a whiteboard, and they wanted me to architect out what the whole environment looked like. So I'm putting in servers, I'm putting in workstations and laptops and different networking type of devices. And I'm talking about where the data flows are going and what talks to what and what this asset is. Everything I put up on the board, I had to explain it and break down what its purpose was. In the second step of that whiteboarding, they told me, okay, what are the common attack vectors, right? How would the bad guys try to get into this organization? So I had to kind of point out, hey, removable media, maybe a phishing email, maybe some type of insider threat. And then the third part of that whiteboarding exercise was they needed me to tell them ways that we would mitigate those different attacks. So how would we defend against the bad that I already told them about? So it was probably about an hour and a half long interview, that whiteboarding interview. So it was very in depth. It was more I actually really liked it. It was very conversational, and I was very much so able to display, like you mentioned, my skill set and my technical acumen through that interview. Now I have seen some that have been pretty difficult too. So there have been some others where, say for instance, you're interviewing for a pen testing or red teaming type of engagement. Hey, it was good. Keep it techie. Welcome. Say, for instance, that you are interviewing for like a red teaming or a pen testing role. I've seen organizations, they would send that person like a vulnerable virtual machine. They would send them a file and say, hey, hack at this thing, write a report about it, and then tell us all of the recommendations that you would give for that organization. So technical acumen, technical interviews are something that's very common within cybersecurity and tech as a whole. So you would have to do that. Yep.
And 2, I see a lot of that with my Indian homies. They love to get you on a whiteboard, man. That's kind of their thing, man. I don't know if it's personal. They try, but they all about the whiteboard. So don't be afraid. Be ready. Because like I had to do it, but I did it for the blue team.
Okay.
How would you defend it? What's your compliance? If we're doing STIGs, where was you hard? And the new term everybody's talking about is, it's
ZTA.
Yep, I was zero trust. How you gonna do the zero trust? Because we were doing Q&A on that. So that's the hot new thing is get on the whiteboard and can use ZTA and figure out how you're gonna lock it down and MFA and all that stuff. Chime in there, Keep It Techie.
No. I got a question for Keep It Techie. No, before Keep It Techie go forward, what was your worst job interview experience? Like, what was your worst one? Everybody got to answer that question on the panel. So that's like the entry fee. What was yours? You're muted. Hopefully, I didn't mute you.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. Yep. All right. So mine was with a government contract. It was with the Department of Energy. I had just came off a database development contract. It ended. I completed the contract successfully. Provided what they wanted. And all that. And so there was another position, and it was actually going to be directly working for the DOE. And so I went into the interview unprepared, thinking I was gonna overly confident, thinking I was gonna get the position because I had just left the building. I still had clearance and everything. Went into the interview and wasn't fully prepared for it. And they asked me some questions because within the questionnaire, they asked they were looking for someone with Linux experience, which I had, but not in a production environment. I also explained that to them. But they asked me a couple Linux questions that I could not answer, and I kind of looked crazy because I couldn't answer them. And I had told them that I had experience, but the questions were kind of, I don't know, high level. It's something I never dealt with, just working with Linux outside of, any production environment. And so, I just bombed it. It was a bad interview.
See, and I think that that the people who are listening, people who might be kind of even to this question, right? How do you tackle the nervousness of taking these interviews? I think that some people just have nerves of steel. I know I don't, right? I get nervous. Right? I get nervous for these days. And I think that as you hear in our stories of what has been our worst interview experience, you would notice that there will be some interviews where you just knock it out the park. You'll do the best possible interview. They pretty much are bowing down to you, making sure that you don't go somewhere else. But you will have interviews where you bomb, right? You will have interviews where you don't do well at, and it's okay, right? Because I think that more than anything, a bombed interview is a learning experience, right? I think all of us has said, yo, listen, like I was unprepared. I was not prepared for that interview. And I think that I promise you that in that next interview that we were more prepared than we were for that previous one. We got another guest. What's good? Welcome, Savage Scientist.
What up, folks?
Hey.
Hey, y'all. Man, I came out personally to answer your question, man, about my worst interview.
I was just about to say that's the entry fee, man. I was about to say that's the entry fee.
So go ahead. So many messed up interviews. Yeah. It's my first time just coming on a stream with you guys, but man, I'm always in the comments.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, my worst interview was Amazon. Well, my worst recent interview, I just say it like that because they have layers to this stuff, man. When it comes to these interviews with me, and I had an interview with Amazon, and I put in about 50 applications with Amazon because I just moved to Seattle.
Oh wow! Okay.
So what happened was like I did this little code. Well, first I had the first interview, and I went and made it through that. But then I did this little coding test. Yeah. I got past that. Then he wanted me to start coding something live. And I'm like, this guy just whipped out a problem, and then I'm like, man, and then I said, all right, well, you want me to? He said you can't use Google, you can't use anything, and I'm like, well, can I use pseudocode or something? He was like, just do it. And I'm like, bro, I could do my best. So I started coding and stuff, and then he was like, all right, so your time is up. I made it through about 2 questions. He had about 10 ready for me. Made it through 2 questions. And after the second question, I'm like, he said he's gonna call me. And he even said that most people won't make it through this thing. So I went through it. and never heard back from him. It was for
Yikes.
Amazon, a data center
Mhm.
job. I mean, and I don't even remember applying for it. But
I'm just about to ask, like, what are you programming in data centers? Like, I don't know. Like,
it
what
was.
you doing?
I think it was for. I think it probably was making plugins or something, because I think on the data center, when they create these
Mhm.
these systems, a lot of that stuff is probably automated, or they probably create stuff like fail safes. I mean, software to automatically
Yeah.
detect when a system need to be migrated to a different
Yeah.
a different block.
Probably do it from health
Yeah.
purposes too, if something goes down or some type of fault.
Yeah.
So yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's probably. I remember that, but that was fun. But
That
I would
was-
say
that
my
was
second
bad, yeah.
worst one would probably be.
Mhm.
I remember applying for a security job in Baton Rouge, Louisiana,
Okay.
entry-level security job.
Okay.
And I'm thinking, oh man, I got security plus. I'm about to go up in here, man. I've been in the military, had top secret SCI clearance and all that
Yeah.
stuff.
Oh wow.
And this guy come up here saying, you don't have enough experience. We need somebody with CISSP.
What?
And I looked at him and
Entry
said,
level.
CI what? Are you serious? And so then I looked at how much they paying, $18 an hour.
Oh man.
CISSP, $18 an hour.
Nobody with a CISSP is going for an $18 an
Like,
hour job.
Man,
Facts.
are you serious?
No.
Yeah, and that job is, I screenshot that the job. I mean, why did he even waste his time interviewing me if you're looking for someone? But what the reason why I think all this happened, because in Louisiana especially, it was probably just him just going through applications, weeding it out. My name is
Fact.
Edward Wilson on the application, so
Yeah.
he saw this, like me come in there with skin this color, so he was like,
Okay.
well, we're gonna just start disqualifying people. But he really that CISSP was actually listed in the job description. I'm like, well,
Was it required or a nice to have? Because it's typically two different sections. Was it like required?
I just think CISSP is overkill for that job.
Yeah.
Especially,
It's
and then it's overkill, like you said, overkill and underkill, because
yeah.
a CISSP is not going to be doing stuff like scanning networks and
No.
and setting up security profiles. They're going to
No,
be
you're typically
telling
doing,
them to do it.
Policy, you're typically doing strategy for the organization.
Management. CSP
Right.
is a management thing. And two
Listen,
is
I'm right there. Yeah.
just
I'm
real
sorry.
quick, Savage is and I think everybody noticed a lot of times they put that stuff in there. Half the jobs they already know who's gonna fill it. So sometimes as the military, they gotta post it, and they just be doing that because they have to. So they, that job is already filled and meant for somebody. So I see that a lot.
Yeah, I think so too. That
Yeah,
the
they have
job
to.
field,
They have to go through the
they put all that
formalities.
stuff up there
also.
only because I would say that too. They just putting it out there so they could just say, hey, we have a job out here,
Yeah.
and just to see how many applications they get.
Hold up, you talking about CISSP? Look, so you got a wall there? Like what you got a lot of certs on that wall there. What's going on? What's going on?
That's my Microsoft certification. I got Microsoft, Dell, SAP,
Yeah.
Network
Shout out
Plus,
to Sam.
Security Plus.
That's the wall of fame right there. That's what's up.
Yeah, man. I got to get my game up, man. I'm
Oh,
in
yeah,
real
man.
life.
That's the
Yeah.
I earned all that.
That's what's up.
Yeah, man.
That's what's up.
At IBM,
Mm-hmm.
they make us get all that stuff.
Okay, dope. You were for IBM. That's what's up. But yeah, everybody's saying, listen, even Byron coming through, Amazon interviews are ridiculous. They're hard to pass. I know I've done one. I made it the last round.
I think we need to respect that. You always say that to get when you go Fang, hey man, that's what it's about. When you go step up to that level, because you trying to get Fang money, man. So you got to be ready. And shout out to John Good. He said Stiggs is always the answer. So he definitely
No, they're not.
Definitely invited to the picnic. That's all I'm saying. John Good.
I'm about to delete that comment. No.
That's big time, that man. Fang. That means that's just like the Super Bowl. I mean, the NFL. Right?
AWS is the Tom Brady, right? They number one, man. So when you go in there, you got to be ready, man.
Yeah, I mean, they really should take Facebook off. But what it is, Meta, what is this main
Meta
guy?
now. Yeah.
Microsoft is another one. I had an interview with them,
Yeah.
and I mean, it's easy to get these interviews, but I had an interview with
Right.
Microsoft, and
Them jobs,
and
though.
I talked to them for a little while, and I had some stuff to do with IBM, so I couldn't make the interview,
Mhm.
and I couldn't reschedule it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like should I? I mean, it's like it seemed like then it's like they say you know like
Mhm.
I had 2 days. I mean, they said,
That's it.
are you available for
prepare.
an interview on Thursday? I know it was a Thursday. And I'm like,
They was trying to fill that role, man.
I already had to be in because IBM don't know that I stay in Seattle. We still working
Uh-oh.
remotely, and then I had to go in the office. So
Hold on, I'm gonna
What's
cut
that?
that part out. No,
oh yeah, so
Overwork.
hey, I got one of those microscopic channels, so I don't
Yeah.
think IBM.
I got one too. But yeah, I just wanted to say what's good. Black Heights, advance your career. Welcome, man. Welcome to the chat. Another OG in the YouTube game, right? He said, look, all the fellas, smart group up there. Listen, we trying to be a little bit like you, man.
Yeah, shout out to him. He
You
got
trying
me
to be
thinking a little different. I didn't start thinking about stock restrictions till I started listening to Black Heights in Town, man. I finally figured out I was broke, man. I had to upgrade my salary game. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Savage.
shout out to you.
Yeah,
Listen.
I didn't mean to cut you off.
Hey,
Get back in
bro,
there, man.
well, I'm done, man. When it comes to being broke, I might have all that, but you know, they have people who just went to a boot camp making more than me, So I mean, having a degree is one thing, but having a job is what really matters. So
Yeah.
Experience.
Absolutely. That experience, hands on the keyboard. Yeah.
I'm over here labbing right now at 54, man. I don't know if that's a success or a failure, but I'm labbing.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, but
absolutely.
Lab is where
we see Raw Dog Bone. That's a very interesting name, but Raw Dog Bone is in here. He said, last question. You're not bogging down the chat. So listen, I am greatly appreciative of you throwing questions in there because we have an illustrious panel of brothers who are experienced in the game that can answer it. He says, do you think certifications are overrated? And if you were running a show, would you gentlemen change? Anybody can take that. And I'll just follow it up.
I think I talked enough. So I think I would I mean, I think I'll chime in later.
After. Yeah.
I'm the oldest. I'll go first, man.
Go ahead.
I think certifications got a double-edged sword. I think if you all certifications and you have no real world experience, it's going to come out when they sit you down in production and somebody goes wrong. But a lot of times that's the opening bar to get into the game, right? So I think you got to put them hand in hand. So and for me now, I'm getting old. So I just said, I'm going to get about 7 AWS certifications. I wasn't getting any hits on my resume really till I got my AWS certs. Then now everybody's bugging me, man. I get a hit like every other day, man. So, I think you need certs. I think you need quality certs. Shout out to CompTIA. I think they're still in the game. AWS is hot, Azure is hot, Splunk's hot. So our certs aren't created equal either, right? So I think you need to get that in labs so you can get some experience. And this panel with Black Heights, we need to start having incubators with real world problems that people can do real world projects on that are actually count for experience, because we all know what you need. We all work production. We all put stuff in there. We know what it means to be in production. So I think that's one of my things as an OG, get everybody together so we can kind of get an incubator with real world problems, because everybody got free courses. I'm trying to get mine done. We can build up those real world projects so people can get real world experience.
Yeah. And let me follow up on that PVO, man.
Absolutely.
Yo, you basically hit the nail on the head, you know what I'm saying? And the only thing I could really add to it is get the certs that you need for the specific roles that you're actually going for. Don't just be hopping around getting certs from all these different organizations if you never gonna use it or use the information that the money that you invested into that cert. If you're never gonna use it, don't get it. Don't waste your money. Just focus on what exactly you're trying to get into. Like if you want to go to AWS route, AWS certs. If you want to go to Azure route, Azure certs. And then also it also depends on where you are. you know, in your tech level. Because those, we always talk about the base skills, you know, the basic technical skills, which CompTIA does a great job providing. So if you want to get stronger on networking, or you know that what you're going into at a higher level is going to need some networking background, then those certifications may help you, some of them. So just get what will help you, based on your situation.
And I'm right there with you, right? So I do interviews regularly. So I got two different interviews for some security roles this upcoming Friday. And one thing, when I see certifications, certain types of certifications, the thing that it tells me is that they have a base level knowledge in that particular field or that particular area. So it doesn't tell me that they're an expert. It doesn't tell me that they know how, like, everything, the ins and outs. It doesn't tell me that they're a subject matter expert. It tells me they have a base level knowledge. And I think that that's good, right? So I don't depend on certs only when I'm looking at the strength of that candidate, but I do account it to say, okay, this person has some level of diligence. This person looked at a subject matter, studied for it, passed the certification. It shows that they have that base level and understanding and their ability to acquire the cert. And it also shows that, hey, if there is newer type of information coming out, that they might be inclined to getting additional certs, like some of those cloud certs that you were mentioning. So I think the certs are good to have, because otherwise, how would I know, unless I ask you 50 million questions about networking or about security, that you have some of that base level understanding and knowledge? So
is your HR heavy on certs? Because a lot of HRs now, if you don't have those proper buzzwords, you can't even get an interview, man. So
that's possible. Many of those security roles, I see people who I interview, they have to go through HR first.
Right, that's what I'm saying. A lot of times,
HR bag really a PBO. Sometimes they do have certifications, and sometimes they have none. But they have projects. Almost everybody has projects or like internships. So for like entry level role, if you have like an internship or some significant projects, I see those candidates kind of rise to the top of the candidate list for HR.
What about your
YouTube channel also? If you your YouTube channel is kind of like a rolling portfolio. So the certifications are real good. I mean, I think everybody should have some type of certifications when they're applying for these jobs. But I have to say, just like Josh said earlier, if you're gonna, the only reason why I have all these different certs is because my company told me I need them. Because really, I wanted to go straight into cyber, but they were like, "Well, you need this." So because it's what makes money for the company, and that's why.
Don't be bashful. They didn't only tell you that you need them. They paid for them for you.
Oh yes, they paid for it.
They paid for the things. Like, all right.
They paid for it. So yeah, that's why I got them. I mean, because even going all the way back to my Security Plus, the military paid for it with that was when they first started 8570. And it started off with Security Plus, and I got Network Plus on my own because I know I'm getting out the military 2 years after that. So I've got Network Plus. And back then, MCSC was the big dog to have.
Right.
And that was the old the engineer Microsoft MCSC. Now they just call it Expert or something. But I mean, it changed a lot. But I would say having another skill that go hand in hand with your certifications will probably be your people skills, and not falling apart during the interview. Just talk the way you talk, with people. I mean, not go there and just acting too cool, but don't be too nervous where you stumbling over words and saying the wrong thing. Just take a breath and just think about what you're about to say before it come out your mouth, and just prepare for your interviews, and they can see when you're not prepared.
Yeah.
So just think about that.
The part of that too, and I encourage people, is when you when you have a job. When I was younger, I try to go on one interview every quarter.
Okay.
I didn't have to worry because I had a job. Then you become comfortable with talking to people, and as you rise up in the ranks, you get comfortable. And especially, when you get your certs, you start getting that as part of that's like labbing almost, right, for interviews. I think if you're young and you get into the game every quarter, even if you got a job, you should at least go interview for a job. And if you're not going to take it, It's two, now you relax because you're like, hey, I got a job. I'm not worried, right? So, and I think like Savage says, you get more comfortable too. Is you get used to it. You get comfortable in your domains. You're in whatever thing you're studying, program and cybersecurity, risk management, GRC, privacy. Then you start stacking on your interview skills with your technical skills with your search.
Absolutely. I don't mean to kind of skip over some of the questions. I'm going to try to answer some in the chat, but I know that people have been talking. And listen,
shout out to Person Center Cyber, giving PBO some love. Shout out to the Stigs.
Stigs, no, I did. Let me tell you, I did. I have a Stigs. Well, I'm not gonna give a story, but I hated it. Right? It's something that's so time consuming. It's hardening of systems. Listen, I'm not with it.
Trying to stop nation states, Gabe. You can't stop trying to just play it, man.
I like to read Stigs, but I wouldn't want. I'm glad I don't have to write them.
Yeah. Listen, I'm gonna change the setting in my YouTube channel to make Stigs like a curse word and it's banned.
Shout out to
I'm gonna have to ban the word Stig in there.
Shout out to Stig.
Y'all need to come to my channel. I Stig on my channel.
Absolutely. Byron says live is life. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Black High says brother KIT.
We're gonna talk about the CISP.
We did a little bit. I kind of answered it a little bit. But
let me go.
We can talk about it for a second.
Yeah. I think when you get to a certain level, in the Fed at the top level, CISO, that's required CISP.
Mm-hmm.
What do I personally think of it? I think Savage side, it's a management test because when you take it, you can't configure a firewall, you can't program, you don't know about compliance. It's 2 inches wide, but it's deep. I took it. I failed it by 6 points. That's one. I should have took it again. One of the failures of my life, but I'll probably take it again. But when you get to that level, people require that when you go into management. So I think if you try to take that next step, shout out to Gabe. He's always talking about leadership, directors. They ask for that in cybersecurity. Go ahead, Gabe. That was my 2 cents on it.
No, I just see that a lot of people are talking in the chat, and I definitely want to get to you all because this is right. Because a lot of times I do mainly pre-recorded material, but this is like my opportunity to really talk to and touch the people. He says, keep it techie. Black High says, brother, keep it techie. He says, stay out of that Las Vegas. Is it hot there? Keep it techie. Like, what's this like? What is it like right now? He said it's hot in Las Vegas right now.
Oh, it's monsoon season right now, so it's not as hot, as it has been for the last couple weeks, though. You know what I'm saying? It was over 100 every day.
Yikes. And Helmet Chili, welcome, man. I'm trying to just listen. They want the incubator. Byron said he want the incubator, the interviewing incubator. So he said he wants that shit to come through. She says she gives her perspective also. She says certs outside of cyber are also very important if you want to advance in leadership. That's exactly what you're saying, PBO. My project management certification has been invaluable in helping me stand out. So boom, right there.
That's definitely on my list because I think, and I'm bad about this. Is I consider myself a big thinker. When you lead a team, a lot of times they want you to do the project Gantt charts. They want you to lay that out. So I think the PMP and all that stuff is very valuable. I think Don't Contier got Leader Plus or something. I thought they had a Leadership Plus.
They got a project management.
So I think
as well.
Yeah, so I think, and Gabe's kind of got me thinking a little different about getting into leadership. I always said I want to be a consultant, go home. I don't want to manage people, but I'm starting to change a little bit. But no, she's 100% correct. So, and two is you can make 100,000 with PMP, and you just giving orders. I work with a ton of PMP. They know very little about cyber. I always get on them. I tell you requirement, and you come back and tell me to hurry up. What are you PMing?
Absolutely. No, I was gonna say like project management, setting up meetings, managing expectations, getting updates. I mean, those are some very quality type of skills because many times when you super duper tech, you don't really understand like the business and the project management of what you're actually doing. And many times those program managers and those project managers help to really kind of keep things rolling along, and they're actually capturing the major, I guess, the milestones that happen with the project. So they're invaluable.
Also, and that's PMP.
Go ahead, Josh.
No, I was just gonna say, and that's also captured in the DevOps process. So with the
facts.
Scrum Masters and all that
Yeah.
stuff. That's
Product
all I was going to
managers.
add. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's you know what? That's exactly
Science.
what I was about to say.
Yeah.
That the Scrum Master is kind of the middleman because they have to deal with development teams
and the customers. You know, the thing about it, and Savage noticed he's not like this because he's smooth. Is probably half the people in programming now, they on the spectrum. They can't even talk to the customers. Half the dudes I work with be looking down. I'm like, dude, you gotta talk to the. They're scared to talk to the customers. So that whole domain was came about because programmers were so off the spectrum they couldn't talk to the customers and get the requirements right.
Yeah.
So you need a middleman, and that's where Agile, Product Master, Scrum, and all that came out because the average programmers can't communicate.
Yeah.
Yeah. You talking about those
facts.
Those 90s programmers, 90s, 2000s.
Oh no, I still work with them, homie. I still work with a ton of them.
I said he with them now.
Oh,
but those dudes be brilliant, man. But they can't hold. I always tease them. I'm like, dude, you smart as hell, but you ain't bright. So man, those dudes are smart, man. They just can't communicate. One dude I work with, I shit you not. He's an incel. He don't come out of his house. He programs out of something. But I promise you, I talked to his manager. He's like, dude, I want to fire him, but he programs better than all 5 of my programmers put together. Dude, brilliant, but can't look you in the eye.
See, that's the thing, right? It's like having a team. Like everybody ain't gonna do the same thing on that team.
Facts,
so you know that guy's value. What you gonna say, Savage Scientist?
Oh, I just about just reinforce what the professor was talking about. Yeah, those programs when you talk to them, I mean they don't maintain eye contact. And when I first got out of college, I was just like that too. And I'm still, and if you watch some of the stuff on my channel, I still tend to be just like that. But I'm kind of like the most extrovert introvert that you'll probably see. I mean,
most extroverted.
It just feel like everybody becomes an extrovert when they mad.
Yeah.
So, but the thing is like it's only whenever when it's those times where I have to report that I screwed something up. Yeah, and that's when I'm like I'm just chilling in the back because when it's my turn to report that I didn't fix my bug or something or they saying that my bug broke the rest of the program. It's like, oh man, I mean I can't let nobody hide because as soon as make eye contact with me, now they're gonna say, oh yeah, I forgot to mention your bug.
Yeah.
But they don't want the Savage to come out, huh?
They don't want them.
But you have to put the title on the line.
Yeah, but what I did, Savage, is I was a project leader for a while. Any bug my team made, I took. I took it for them. So my team always loved. Well, for me though is because my Indians were introverted and they couldn't look, so I took all those arrows for them. I had to do program 48 hours for me. We were stuck because I took all those arrows for him. And that's what he's like, who messed it up? I was like, it's my team. I'm supposed to review all their work. So any bug on this team is my bug.
Absolutely.
So, but I was at a level where wasn't nobody gonna fire me, wasn't nobody gonna do nothing. I took all those heat. I just took all the heat.
We had to jump out. We had to jump in the water ourselves and swim on our own. Our boss was like, my boss sitting there with a life preserver walking the other way.
No,
like.
I'm seeing John's
that's how I learned how to swim.
Yeah, I'm about to say I'm seeing John's comments here too. Definitely super duper valuable information. I'm gonna kind of zoom a little bit. But John's comment, he said you only have so much money and so much time and money. Use it wisely. I think that was in reference to getting all the certifications. There's money involved and there's time involved for studying for it. So I'm right there with you. Person in the cyber says she is certified hypnotist. She says she hypnotizing y'all into her solution in tech. She said this has also helped me to advance rather quickly. Listen, I'm not going to ask no questions about that. Okay, I'm not going to ask any additional questions. I'm going to say I got you. I hear you.
But I think she's saying real quick. I'm gonna let you flow. Like Josh said, soft skills, man. The next level to get to project leader is soft skills because after technically wise. I don't even touch computers, man. I just give people orders and make sure the requirements get met. Then
Whoa,
you
so
get
you
a man.
hypnotizing people too to agree?
Nah,
with
man.
Okay.
But the higher
Hypnotizing
you,
the soft skills. I got you.
but Gabe, the higher you go up, the less technical they be. Because my
Yeah.
boss told me, he's like, I pay you too much to be touching the computer, man. Delegate that stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So go ahead
Yes.
and zoom through.
Absolutely. And then probably another one here.
Are the Salesforce certifications completely
Go ahead.
free for veterans? Oh, that's keeping the tech question now.
Oh yeah, I answered in the chat. Yeah, it's 100% free for the training, and then you receive a voucher. And this is based on me reading it, reading the information that's on there. And I put the link in the chat as well. It's called VetForce. But you receive a voucher at the end of it. And someone commented under my last video that said they're actually currently in the VetForce program where they went through the free training, they received their voucher, and then they're and the sign up is free for all veterans.
I shared it.
I absolutely apologize, but I'm actually gonna have to cut this short. Next time I have to rent out this room because some people are about to come in here and they about to take it over.
It's all
so we're
good.
gonna definitely do a part 2, but I definitely appreciate you all being here. Definitely appreciate everybody coming through. We have about 36. I think we were at 40 earlier. So feel free to hit the like button. Any closing words from anybody? Closing words. I know like I had a lot to get into, but
let's go now. My thing is everybody hit it. Get your search, get your study, get your money. It's out here to get. You see this panel, the money's out here. As the kids say, let's get the bag, man. That's all I got.
And I second that, just get out here and get this training, lab every day, do what you need to do in order to be successful, because the money is out here, the jobs are out here. You just gotta have a drive to get it. So peace, Gabe, and salute for doing this.
Absolutely. Definitely appreciate it. Cyber Sciences, anything from you?
The only thing I can say is, same thing everybody else said, don't procrastinate, because tomorrow plus one just mean another day ahead of yourself. So stop incrementing, start decrementing. That's all I can say.
Thanks, everybody. I definitely appreciate you all for coming through. I definitely appreciate everybody for coming through in the chat. Hit the like button before you leave, and we'll do a part 2 maybe sometime later in the week. And yeah, that's it, right? Struggle Security, that's the channel. And the tagline is normalizing struggling in cybersecurity for you all. So thanks for coming through, and we'll do this again. All right. See everybody later.
Nice stream.